Hi everyone, you're still with us here on the C Morning Show. Indonesia has achieved many milestones on the way to becoming a middle-income country, some of which include lower child mortality rates and significant increases in primary school enrollment. However, despite these achievements, nutrition in children still remains a somewhat neglected issue in the country.
According to a 2022 Health Ministry report, 1 in 3 Indonesian adults are obese, while 5 children aged 5 to 12 years old are also suffering from the same condition. How do we prevent child obesity and malnutrition? And let's get deeper to get to know the answer. We will chat with clinical nutrition specialist, Dr. Putri Sakti. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
She's already here joining us in the studio. So this is very, very important to meet with nutritionists because we've been discussing about this, right?
Yes.
With the right workout and everything. So basically, it's the most important thing is to know to get the right nutrition for our body.
Yeah.
But first, could you please explain to us what is malnutrition and what forms it may take?
Okay, so malnutrition refers to deficiency, excess, and impaired nutrition.
So excess is considered, like too
Yes.
much is also considered
Yeah.
malnutrition. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so
Okay.
malnutrition refers to one, deficiency like stunting,
Okay.
wasting, and we ever say with underweight.
Okay.
And for overweight and obesity, the third is imbalanced micronutrient like vitamin minerals.
Okay.
Fourth, resulting diet related to non-communicable disease.
Oh.
So there are 4 forms of malnutrition.
Okay, so I thought all this time malnutrition was when you're not getting enough, like, you know, you're not getting the right things, but it can be in excess as well. So let's talk a little bit about, we'll start with one first, which is deficiencies. First of all, when it comes to children, we're always trying to give them as much as they need. However, children's needs can differ from adults. So can you start off by telling us what is it that a child needs, a growing child needs?
Yeah, of course they need a well-balanced diet too, but we need to know that their calories intake bigger than our
right? Okay.
our
Needs, like
needs.
adults.
Yeah.
Because they are growing, right? They just need more.
Yeah, they need to growing up and growth development.
Oh,
It's
okay.
different with us. So for the comparison, for the child under 1 year, they need like 100 calories per kilogram.
The amount of the calories is
Yes,
important.
for
as well.
us adults, we just need like 25 until 30 calories
Per kilogram of body weight,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
But
okay.
we need to know that for children, they need to have the physical activity
I see.
more than us too.
Really?
Like 60 minutes a day.
For kids.
Yes, for kids.
Ah.
As simple as they play and learn, but they lots of jumping.
Like movement.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like not being on the gadget.
Yeah. Toms are not included. No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So they have to offset it. Not only do they need more calories per kilogram of body weight, but they also need to do more because what
Activity.
happens when they don't? Because this is where excess comes in, right? You give them the right amount of calories, but they're sitting around on the gadgets all day, so they're not burning off the excess calories. correct?
Yes, they lack of energy expenditure a day, and lately we know that they children among us they eat ultra processed foods too much.
Oh, yes, yes.
Sweet beverage, sweet snacks.
Yeah.
So it over calories, but lack nutrients.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
We call it like empty calories, right?
Yeah,
Rob? Like you
that's
get a lot of calories in, but none
Not
of them
empty
are really
calories,
quality.
empty nutrients.
Empty nutrients,
Yes,
correct.
that's
Is there any signs or symptoms for the parents to recognize, oh, okay, their kids probably have the malnutrition, even though they feed them with vitamins and everything, but it's not enough
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
excesses, right?
Yeah. The simple way we can check for their age for age or weight for age or weight for age
Okay.
the age, so we know that okay, they are stunting or wasting or underweight, or maybe we can know from the slowly wound repair, or yeah,
Oh,
if
I
they
see.
get
So
trauma.
if they get a cut and it takes a long time
Yes,
to heal.
that's right. Or maybe if they get mouth ulcer,
Okay. Yes.
if they have slower time
Recovery.
to recovery, or maybe they susceptible to infection,
Okay.
or maybe to allergy.
Oh, there's a physical symptoms
Yes,
or
that's right.
signs that probably parent could recognize.
Right. So
For the children.
I want to break down even further in case our viewers are not familiar, because we hear some of the words we hear, like stunting is is it the lack of growth then? So
Yes,
they're
that's
not
right.
growing to their full potential.
Yes, that's
Okay,
right.
so we should explain, if you're not a parent, I only learned this because I was a parent, you get this book where you visit your pediatrician, and there's actually a chart, like a line for you to follow, and one side will show the age, and one side will either show the height,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
length or height, or the other will show the weight,
Yeah.
correct? So if this line, if you start to track your child's progress throughout time, and they're underneath the line or above the line, that is an indication that they're
Yes,
either
that's right.
getting excess or deficient.
Yeah, and stunting comes from lack of nutrition
Okay.
from chronically.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's very different with wasting.
Yes.
Wasting is a low weight for AIDS,
Okay.
and it comes from lack nutrients and too much weight loss in an acute condition.
Okay, so the difference between stunting and wasting is that stunting is they're not growing to their full potential, but wasting is they have, but then they lose it, correct?
Yes.
Is that
Yes,
right?
and wasting show us that their weight is not comparable with their height.
I see. They're too small for their too
okay.
small for their height. Okay, I see. All right.
Like a
See, that's
normal age, something. Okay,
The
so
average.
speaking about stunting and obesity, how actually parents can avoid that, even though they already have a great doctor or nutritionist as well, but can it grow along with the children's growing as well?
Yeah, of course. As parents, we need to always check their height or weight for it from the
Frequently.
growth chart, like Paul said before. And of course, we need to always check their meals, their schedule, because many parents never checks their needs compared to their consumption.
Okay.
Yep.
Number two, the feeding rules never go like as it needs.
Okay.
Like
okay.
they always give them too much snacks, but
Okay.
they not
Don't actually need
yeah,
it.
and they
Oh,
not
yes, yes.
give them well balanced diet. So actually, the obesity or maybe the stunting, wasting, it's not only happens in low socioeconomic. Right
Right.
now,
Very much
30% stunting comes from middle to
Up.
Really?
family,
Okay. Wow.
social economy.
Okay, so that's a misconception that we're often hear, like, oh, well, you know, somebody with who are less financially secure cannot afford the healthy
Yeah,
food.
that's right.
That's not necessarily the case. Now, I have children myself, 3 of them, and in between these regular healthy meals that we prepare, they snack. Kids eat all the time. I can't stop my kids from eating. Every couple hours, they're like, oh, I'm hungry again. Can I have a snack? And we can't be giving them full meals all the time. So how do we deal with this? How do we balance what they like versus what they need? Because that's where I find sometimes it's a challenge. Like, I like to be a bit more flexible on the weekends, but all the time I feel like I'm having to try to keep my kids in line because they love all the processed stuff. They
And sometimes the parents will feed the kids
Well,
because lack of
just to make
food.
them
Like mama,
Yeah.
my mom to my nephew.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, he lack of food.
That's
Just
true.
feed.
That's true, especially the grandma and
Exactly, the
grandpa. They always-
grandma and grandpa.
So how do we balance that out?
Yeah, first you need to tell them, you need to teach them about feeding rules.
Okay,
So
such as?
it has methods like 2, 30, 2.
2:30.
Okay, what's
that?
Okay.
2 hours before eating
Oh, okay.
or the
Meals, the actual,
meal, yeah.
regular meal.
they don't
Oh,
we
They don't
don't
eat
have
anything.
to
Don't
give
snack
them
anything.
snack
Okay.
at
Okay.
all,
Okay.
even though it's for milk.
Oh,
Yes, milk is very filling, by the way.
Yeah.
Milk
Yeah.
is filling. Yeah.
Because if they feel full, even though not too fullness, they will reject
the regular meal.
because
Okay.
they're
Okay.
too happy with play or nothing
Yeah,
else.
yeah,
Okay, gotcha. That,
And then
that makes
Okay.
sense.
the 30 minutes is for process for they
The meal.
eat the
Eat.
meal.
Okay.
And then 2 hours after that, we don't give anything
Oh.
else except water, of course.
Okay.
Because we need to teach them about they know their hunger
Oh,
response.
they can feel the hunger
Yes,
itself.
that's right.
Oh, wow.
The processing, the digest
thing.
process, and they
Yeah.
can feel the hunger. The needs, the needs they can feel. Like us, adult, when we are fasting, we hold ourselves for not taking any food or anything. So when the breakfast, okay,
Yeah.
now I feel it.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay, to turn on the alert,
switch.
exactly. Okay.
Okay, so basically you need about a 4.5 hour window in between every meal
4
for
hours.
you to have that meal and focus on that meal. Now, when it comes to selections, it gets so tricky these days. You go in the supermarket, everything is so appealing.
Yeah.
The more processed it is, the more colorful the box is, and
Yeah.
my kid just is drawn to
Yeah.
it. Is it okay to give them certain things as treats, and how much is okay? Like, where's that threshold where I'm giving them just enough and not too much?
Yeah, I think you can give it when weekend,
Okay.
so they know when I can have treat for myself.
So they don't ask all the time. Kind
Yeah,
of
So
thing,
basically
right?
like an adult who do a diet.
Yeah,
Exactly right.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So never buy ultra processed food.
Okay.
Basically every day in your home.
Oh, I
Because
see.
it will make them craving for it.
Will trigger
Yeah.
them.
Just for see it or
Yes.
just for
Yeah,
smelling it.
or just
Okay.
taste it for a occasionally.
If it's in the
or
fridge, they're gonna love to see
recreational.
it every time
Yes.
they open
Oh,
it,
there
right?
you
Yeah.
go.
Well,
Oh.
That's for Saturday.
And they thought it's normal to have it
Yeah.
as a daily food or something.
What do you mean by
okay.
ultra processed? Is there a difference between regular processed food and ultra processed?
Yeah, ultra processed food like as we know in the store, like cereal.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, and then
Like a instant
lots
food.
of
Okay.
snacks.
Yeah.
Like nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Food that lasts like a long time on the shelf for some
Exactly.
reason. Yeah.
Or maybe we give them too much like junk food. Junk food is ultra processed food.
Okay. got it.
Okay, so is there any way to track the children if they got wrong, nutrient, like malnutrition, whether it's obese or lack of nutrient or something like that?
Yeah, the best way, of course, we need to check to pediatrician
Okay.
or to clinical nutrition specialist because many parents say that my children sufficient enough to eat their calories of nutrients, but why there is lots of symptom, and then when the doctor asks them about what they eat, we always know that okay, this their daily
plans,
consumption is not balanced from what the calories with the nutrients.
Okay.
And number two, of course, to children, we always check from the growth chart.
Oh, yeah.
very-
You do that?
I do, yeah.
Paul?
I still every now and then when they reach, I don't do it religiously all the time at the same time, but every now and then when I weigh and I measure them, I always refer back to that chart, and I find that luckily, so there's different colors on it as well. If you're still within the range of that line, it'll be green, but if you get outside it, it'll be yellow, and then outside
Yeah,
even
that's
further,
right.
it'll be red.
Oh.
So even if we get anywhere near the yellow, we immediately have to figure out what's happening here. Why
okay.
are they not reaching? Or
Since you
why-
have 3 kids,
Yes.
with the 8 years gap between the first
5 years.
5 years
yes.
gap, the first and the youngest one, did you implement the same treatment to feed them with the nutrition?
I learned a lot from the first one. So following her progress on the first one, I was a bit more lax with the second and third because we already started to know what it is that kids need, how often I can give them treats. But the first one was more experimental, where it's like, where I have to make sure that, she's having cereal every morning. That can't be good. So we have to start making more kind of less processed food. We'll give them fruit more often, or a sandwich or something like that.
But we spoke before, doctor. Each person, basically, children case, we're talking about children case, have different, different needs, different results as well. Can all parents implement like what Paul implement to their family?
Okay, if we talk about the proper diet, recently we can check it with nutrigenomics test. So our genetic to obesity, or maybe to physical activity, or maybe to our daily needs from vitamin, minerals, we can check it from our genetics.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes, and it can check from they born and until 65 years and over. It never be changed.
Oh, because it's
right?
Yeah. Of course, it's the proper way to give our children or our daily needs for genetics. And we can prevent that stunting, wasting, or maybe obesity and overweight from their genetics.
If we zoom out, Doc, by the way, you deal with patients all the time. Is this trend getting better or is it getting worse? Because we are more knowledgeable now, but sometimes knowledge can not necessarily be a good thing. We think we know so much, but there's still so much that we don't know. So what is the trend? So what is the trend that you see in children these days? Because we see a lot of campaigns for like anti-stunting and what we should be doing lately.
Right now, the prevalence getting worse.
Is that right?
Oh,
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
For stunting or the obese?
All malnutrition. So right now, globally, we have triple burden malnutrition, from undernutrition, overnutrition, and imbalanced vitamin minerals.
Wow. There you go. Scary stuff. See, we think we know so much. We actually don't.
Wow. Yeah, not to mention another case like allergy or something like that.
So that's the thing. It's a bit of a balancing act because we're always trying to make our kids happy, but sometimes we have to do what's best for them.
I think we should get the test so we know what's the best.
I would love to do that test for myself.
Me too. And we'll talk about that later, Doc.
Doc, thank you so much for this deeper look into malnutrition. I think this is an issue that we all need to be more aware of, not only for children, but ourselves as well.
As an adult. Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you so much for coming. And we'll talk about that later, about the test. Because we want to have a
optimal results.
Yeah, the best quality of life, not only for children, but the parents should know better. So they can feed or give the right nutrition for their kids and have a quality family.
Agreed.
All right, we'll return with updates from around the world when we return. So keep it here on the C Morning Show, only on See Today.